Hey there, friends. How you doing? Do you like tales of things exploding, high-speed chases, and daring do? Then I've got the tale just for you. Stay tuned. This is real life. This is Idiot Box Radio. Cue my intro music, please. Thank you.
Coming to you from Australia, it's Idiot Box Radio. Please welcome the hardest working Type 2 diabetic in podcasting. It's Idiot Box Radio with your host, Tori.
Hi there, guys. How you doing there? I'm Tori. You're not. Welcome to Idiot Box Radio. Go to the website at idiotboxradio.com, where if you hit the patron link, you can become a patron of the show for as little as $1.50 a month, begging for money. You'll get a shout out. You get access to audiobooks. You get to get stuff that generally people don't, because you get me. Anyhow, so I had a tale to tell, and I've been meaning to tell it for quite some time, but I keep forgetting to tell it, so therefore it's not being told. And then the other day, right, I remembered that I needed to tell the tale. So I put up on TikTok for people to remind me to tell the tale that I'm now going to tell you. Just click follow, subscribe. I don't know what thing you're on. In any case, this is an event, true story, that happened a very long time ago now. I really do mean a very, very long time ago. As I am now a man who works in retail, back then I also worked in retail. Okay, but I worked for a different company than the one I do now. And every now and then, it wasn't often, probably 3 times, I would be asked out on a date by one of my customers. And in this particular time, well, no, let's call her Jazz or Jazzy, okay? Jazzy, I met Jazzy when I was at work, and she asked me out. And we went out for a meal, and it was fun. Didn't bang, but went out for a meal. Because you don't like bang it. Anyhow, went out to a restaurant, and then that was nice. She asked me out again. We went out, had a nice time, talked, all very, very innocent. Okay, but we were having fun. But it was after the second time that we'd gone out that I was asked by her a very weird question. And it was via a phone call where she phoned me up and said, would you be able to do me a big favour? Would you be able to come to court with me tomorrow? Not like I'm courting you, we're going to get married kind of court. Like I'm going to legally get something sorted out. And I thought, this is really weird. Like we've only caught up twice and it was just for a meal, you know, no expression of interest like when grown-ups like each other. Jazzy was asking me to go, and she explained it. And my heart went out to her because I'm a dad. I was then as well. And she told me that she was having issues with custody of her children, but that she was going to court to get them back. And I thought that's a pretty neat thing, an emotional thing, that I could go there and be there for her, even though she doesn't really know me, but maybe she just doesn't have a lot of friends and needs some support. Yeah, sure thing. I'll be there because like it's going to be interesting anyhow. So next morning, I throw on a nice shirt. Don't know if I tie it up or not, but threw on a nice shirt, pair of slacks, something respectable to wear to court. And I went and got Jazz. God, I want to say your full name. She was dressed nicely for court, and she had a handbag. It seemed to be full, but I thought maybe files or something like that. And so we've gone to the Geelong courthouse, and then we've walked around and proceeded up the courthouse steps. Okay. Up the top of the courthouse steps were a lot of scum. You could tell they were scum. They were scummers. They're out the front darding. I was darder too back then, so I can't really pay them out for that. But they're all darding, yelling, making a fuss. Notice when I'm talking about scumming, I'm not saying the G at the end. I'm not giving it a scumming. They were scumming, darting, laughing, talking, yelling, shouting, pouting, and then Jazz and I start walking up the steps of the courthouse, not to get married. And lo and behold, all these scummers go, Jazzy! Hey, Jazzy, what's going on, love? What are you doing, love? What are you doing, love? What are you doing? They all know her. She knows them. And she's gone from being this funny, nicely spoken person that I've had dinner with on 2 occasions to a fucking scummer. She's yelling out, you know, hey, how you doing? And she, you know, one of them gives her a dart. She fucking she knows them all, and I'm gobsmacked, and I just want to crouch into a corner. And they're all talking about their cases that they've got coming up for shoplifting and theft and assault, and I'm like, okay, this is her real crowd then. They all know her. And one of them goes, so Jazzy, how do you think you're gonna go today, love? And I'm still assuming she's getting her kids back today. She didn't have a car, and I get that. Maybe she needed me to help her take her kids home. And she goes, fuck mate, I don't know what I'm gonna fucking do, but I tell you what, if the fucking cunt finds me guilty, I'm going to be sculling these. And she opens up her handbag, and there's 2 bottles in it. And they go, what do you got in there, Jazzy? And she goes, 2 bottles of Doan. She lifts one out, and I've gone, what's Doan? And she looks back at me and goes, methadone. What? Sure enough, it's methadone. Now, if you don't know what methadone is, it's what they give junkies to help them stay off the real drugs. So you can wean yourself off the methadone and it's not as harmful as going cold turkey or just doing the really illicit drugs that could have God knows what in them. So she's got 2 full bottles of liquid of methadone in her handbag. So she's dressed up in little like office attire with 2 big bottles of methadone that she's fucking gonna scull. And in case you don't know what that means, it means drink the whole lot in one hit if the judge finds her guilty. Guilty of what? Lo and behold, we get in there and it's her turn. It's her turn to face the judge and all the other matters that I'm hearing, because it's fucking fascinating, but they're all criminal matters. So I'm like, okay, well, fair enough. Maybe one judge does everything. And I noticed that when she's called up, she's sitting in the area where all the people who are defending themselves are sitting. And across from her is the police prosecutor. You don't have the police prosecutor sitting in front of you. Jazzy! And in the meantime, her 2 bottles of methadone, which didn't get fucking picked up by a metal detector because they're glass bottles, they're clanking away by her side. And the judge comes in. Everyone stands up. Everyone sits down. The judge looks at her and says, Jazzy! No. The judge goes Jazz, because that's our fill-in first name for this show. Jazz, it's not the first time I've seen you in here. Feels like it's not going to be the last time. Prosecutor, what are the charges against our friend Jazz this time? The police prosecutor stands up, and this is the story. This is why we're actually in there. And I still, to this day, I have not known Jazz for at least 14 years. I think I caught up with them one more time after this. But yeah, this is what the cops read out. Okay. So basically, the reason why Jazz was in court was simply this. Jazz was a heroin addict who was in a 3-cop car high-speed chase in Geelong, where a member of the public had noticed the erratic driving and the fact that she still had a fucking syringe in her arm. The cops had chased her, and finally when she'd crashed, they pulled up to find the needle still in her arm, syringes on the floor of the car, cocaine and heroin in the car. She jumped out, punched 3 of them in a whirling dervish. Like, there's no way the person that I'd caught up with for a meal, no way this person I didn't think could do this. But then, as a last-ditch effort, has somehow run quickly around from the cops, got to the back of the car, the boot, the trunk, pulled out petrol out of a jerry can, tipped it on the car, and set the car on fire. Set the car on fire. Jazz, I don't think you're getting your kids back. The children were not mentioned once. I don't even know if there were children, but yeah. I was there to witness that. I still to this day do not know why she wanted me there, a stranger. And I don't know why after, you guys are listening, and this might even be show 100, but well done, Tori, for show 100, by the way. But I have really done nearly 600 shows of Idiot Box Radio over the years, and I've never thought to tell this story, and I don't know why. I had to tell you, this person, I was shocked at the end. And for some reason, she was not locked up. Maybe they've got some weird thing, but the cops didn't press charges for the assault. She was allowed to leave with me, and I didn't even know what to say. I basically said at the end of it, well, I think I should take you home. And I did. I didn't even know how to bring up what the fuck was that. Jazz, if you're still alive, what the fuck was that? I still, to this day, I've got no idea why someone would tell another person that they need some help because they're getting their kids back to the mess that was that particular court case. But she was allowed to leave. She got put on a community services where she had to do jobs in the community. She had to pay restitution for the police chase, but she did not do any jail time. Fascinating. And I keep forgetting to tell you, but now I've done it. So I'm a little bit pleased about that. On a serious note, thank you so much for putting up with me for 100 shows, unless I forget to put this out as my 100th show, in which case it's another one. But we've done 100 shows. I've actually done more than that. I'm still editing shows. But thank you so very much for being a part of my life. Thank you. You're good for my mental health. Hopefully I'm good for yours. And that is an incredibly true yet messed up story. I love you guys. Bye.